Hello, I'm LJHQ, and I'm going to be doing a video on my class setups per request of some people in the clan, from the clan I'm in. To start off, I'm going to just go off the 5. These are all MLG style classes, so no stupid retarded explosives or anything like that. So first of all, I usually start, I'm just going to go ahead and start with a submachine gun category. I tend to lean towards the MSMC more than anything, because the other submachine guns, like the Vector you can use, the MP7 you can use. I've blocked off some guns I would not recommend using at all, like the PDW, and the Peacekeeper's not even allowed because not everybody has it. But if you know how to use the Tricom, then stick with that gun, because that's one of the harder guns to use, but it's a pretty good gun. Scorpion's just really good for, actually it's not really good for much of anything, in my opinion. So I usually just tend to stick with the MSMC or the Vector, but in this case I'm going to use the MSMC. For the attachments, for any of the submachine guns, I took off all the attachments you should never ever use on any submachine gun, at all. I tend to run either quick draw or fast mag, or extended cut. Most of the time it's fast mag. And as far as the camo situation goes, don't put on any camos, unless it's like elite, jungle, or anything like or unless like the first 3 camos, because all of them tend to stick out like a sore thumb. But for perks wise, I tend to run for this MSMC class 5 perks. I go with lightweight, flak jacket, focus, or toughness, sorry, dexterity, and tactical mask. I blocked off Ghost and Hardline because there's no need for either of those. You could use, if you really want to use Hardline, then you really shouldn't probably be playing League Player or anything like that, because you're not going for to try to get those really high streaks. You're going to help your team. So, but these 2 perks are essential right here: flak jacket and tactical mask. But so this is one class I would use for League Play or competitions or anything like that. Another one I'm going to go down to the assault rifle category. First one I'm going to go is the AN. The AN is definitely a really good gun to use. I tend to run 3 attachments for it, especially for the like search. This is a really good class for search. I use always use stock, reflex, and quick draw. And if you don't want to use reflex and you don't have to, you can just stick with quick draw and stock, or even take off quick draw. Quick draw and just have on stock and reflex. But I also block stuff in here that you should not use ever for an assault rifle. You should never use target finder, select fire, EOTech sight, grenade launcher, or FMJ. The highly recommended one is definitely stock, no matter what assault rifle it is. You can even get away with using a hybrid optic instead of a reflex. For perks, lightweight, toughness. Oh, and I have scavenger blocked off as well, because for playing League, playing hard, like rush games, you're not going for high streaks, you're going for the objective, so you don't usually need to use scavenger. So toughness is definitely the green perk you want to be using. Sometimes you can run hardwired or cold-blooded, because hardwired for the people spamming and EMPs. Alright, and for third perk, you really just need dexterity. You don't need to be planning on running around the map with an AN. For the next part, you need a grenade and a concussion. Those 2 are just pretty easy. And also on my classes, I usually never ever run secondaries unless I'm just playing around, because I feel like you should rely on your primary. And if you are going to be running a secondary, you should have on fast hands. But alright, down to the third one. Another one that you really should get used to is the M8. It has, and I also run the same attachments as on the AN94 and the same perks. But sometimes I'll switch out the grenade and stuff, or not the grenade, the concussion for an EMP, just for those like turrets and guardians and stuff like that. But I usually run the same thing like this. This is a really good gun to get used to, though it does not have the headshot multiplier. It's still a really good gun, so you don't really necessarily want to aim for the head unless they're head glitching. So usually just go for the catch, for the chest. So when it kicks up, you'll be perfectly fine. And there is a multiplier. It's a 1.2 multiplier. MSMC, there's also one. Alright, now for the fourth custom, I'm going to go ahead and go with a shotgun. Because this one, you can, some people, well, not some people, a lot of people like the Remington, the first one, but I personally do not like it at all, and I don't like using the first two for league play. I don't mind using them on multiplayer when everybody's just kind of running around, but for strategy, I would either use the first one or the last one. The last one is personally my favorite. It's what I've spent most. It's actually my deadliest weapon right now. I tend to run 3 perks: quick draw, stock, and stagnant foot most of the time. Perk 1, lightweight. This is basically just my rush class, so I don't worry about attack and mask or anything like that. It's just one of those things where if somebody's camping too hard or I'm trying to get an anchor out, this is the class I tend to use the most. It's actually pretty good for long range too. Another one, my last class, which is by far my favorite / best class, is the DSR. I run 5 perks on it, same as the MSMC class I showed earlier, so dexterity, tactical mask, lightweight, and flak. This is basically so you can get to a spot and hold it down and not have to worry about anybody chucking things at you and killing you. For attachments, what I will either do is I'll either run 6 perks and no attachments, because this DSR needs no attachments whatsoever, or I'll run laser sight and a tomahawk. This is because laser sight is so I can get those people from far away a lot faster, and combat axe just so I can somehow, like, sometimes people like rush me, I don't have time to do anything else, or I'm reloading, or I just pull out a tomahawk. I did block the ballista and SVU, because the ballista, you get too many hit markers, and people say it takes skill to use, but it really doesn't. I mean, it's the fastest shooting sniper, or fastest drawing sniper, but I personally, it's my least favorite sniper in this game. SVU, if you need to spray with a gun, you might as well spray with something else. Don't spray with the SVU. XPR is a pretty good gun if you can control it. I'd use the same attachments as on the DSR, maybe even extended clip instead of laser sight. So these are classes I would use. It's always good to have one class at least in the EMP. And now, but for the alternate classes, like a MSMC, what I know sometimes I'll do is I'll put on the MSMC, but I'll have on 2 trophy systems, and then I'll run just tactical mask, and like it's basically a tank class where it's like holding down an objective or something you just really need to hold it down. I don't use this class often unless it's like certain map, but usually it's just really just like clear people out or stay in a certain area. This is, like I said, it's really a class I don't use, but it does work. Another one, I'm going to do something with LMGs just to demonstrate something. You never want to use these attachments / stuff for LMGs, just because if you're going to use an LMG in a 4v4, you got to run with it. You can't just camp it out. Any other classes? Let's see. Oh yeah, FAL. I would stay away from the FAL. If you're going to use a semi-auto, then use a SMR, because it just does a whole lot better at further ranges. It may not have the less kick, but if you can figure out how to use the SMR, then use it. But most of all those guns work for basically any of the MLG maps. So most of these, my gun KDs are from playing league play. So I mean, a lot of these work. Also, the Type 25 is a good gun to use, but if you can stay with those guns, then you guys. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and end this video right here, and if anybody has any questions, just let me know about any attachments that I took off, or reasons why I took them off. Just go ahead and shoot me a comment or something, and yeah, peace out.